Hello, welcome to Art Sparks. I am really happy to be here today. I am Mrs. Lewis and I have two children in Allen ISD. I have a fourth grader and a seventh grader. Thank you so much for having me in your classroom today, and thank you to your teachers also. It's great to be able to share a little bit of art with you during your day today. We have to start off with the 3 rules about art. The first rule is that we always respect the art. We don't go running up to it and grab at it and poke it and be like, oh, look at this over here, and show your friends something. You always keep at least an arm's length away, and probably 2 arm's lengths away whenever you're looking at art in person. And this means in the museum or in a gallery, or if you just see art hanging someplace or displayed someplace. Not only is the art valuable for being art, but it's valuable to society, and it was made by a person who values it. The second rule in art is that we respect each other. We respect each other's ideas and thoughts and opinions about art. We never insult somebody or tell them their idea is dumb or laugh at it, because everybody's idea is unique, because the art is always unique. And the third rule about art is that there are no wrong answers. There's no wrong answers in art. Whatever you feel is coming from that art, whatever you see going on in there, it's right, because art is so unique and so special. And that's the great beauty of art. Now, today's lesson is going to be about nature's extremes. All sorts of crazy things that nature throws at us. And there is a lot of art dedicated to nature's extremes because it's really impactful. So I'm going to show you 3 pieces today. The first 2 are really current. They were made in the last 50 years, and one of them was made in the year that some of you were born in. So let's go ahead and take a look at nature's extremes. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen so we can look at the art in detail. Wow, look at this. This first piece is called Tornado by James Searles. It was created in 1977. What do you think it's made out of? You're right, it's wood. Yes, it's made from wood. And so that makes it 3-dimensional. So it's a sculpture. It's not a painting or a drawing. It's a sculpture. Now, what do you notice? There are 2 main things here. What are they? This big, huge tornado and this poor building. So the sculpture captures a moment in time. It's frozen. What do you think is about to happen? What happens next? Now, to look at the way it's made, look at the detail. See these chips of wood? And I almost feel like that's maybe like a whole branch with chips of wood stuck into it, maybe. Or maybe these are individual little pieces of wood with chips of wood stuck between them. I don't know. But then you come down to the house and you see the house is very orderly and neat, where the tornado part is all over the place. And the building is very orderly and neat. Now, why do you think this artist created this? Do you think maybe it reflects an experience he actually had? Or does it just maybe reflect something he's thought about and imagined? What do you think it would be like to be in a tornado? Let's look at our next piece. This is called Japan Earthquake. And it was created by an artist named John Paul in 2011. That sound like a familiar year? I think that's a year that many of you might have been born. So why did he create this in 2011? Well, a magnitude 9 earthquake hit Japan. And this is on a scale of 1 to 10. It was a 9. And this enormous earthquake then caused a tsunami, which probably most of you know is a huge wave that comes from the ocean that is caused when there is an earthquake underneath of the ocean. So not only was there the earthquake that happened, but then about 10 minutes later, the tsunami came tearing through. Over 750,000 houses were destroyed. The other thing that happened is that the nuclear power plant had a meltdown. It was broken. And so there was just extensive environmental damage done because of the leaking radiation. And that's never going to be able to be fixed. So this was a really, really overwhelming event. So think about the man standing there. What does he see? What do you see? It's like everyday life, but everywhere. You see a fire hydrant, a stoplight, tires, roof tiles, tons of cars. But you know what I don't see? Any other people. How do you think this man feels? So, is this from the perspective of the man as well as from our perspective? Are we sharing perspective with the man in the artwork? This artwork is called Drought-Stricken Area, and it was painted by a man named Alexander Hogue in 1934. And this piece of art is actually in the Dallas Museum of Art. You can go right downtown to the DMA and see this. And the DMA is open now also on certain days and at certain times. Now, this is a painting that depicts the Dust Bowl in the 1930s in America. America had a tremendous drought in the 1930s. And a drought is when not enough rain falls or no rain falls. And the wells dry up and the lakes dry up and the streams. And as a result, the food crops die, the animals die. Pretty soon, even the grass dies and it blows away. And the wind just starts blowing and blowing and blowing and blows dirt and sand everywhere. And it was called the Dust Bowl. And this lasted for a long time, like 8 years. So let's look closely at the details. What is going on here? Not sure what that is. It's a house, a fire, I don't know. Look at the buildings. Do they look like they're in good repair? Do you think there are people still living here? So this is a windmill. And the windmill pumps water up from a well. And then the water would come out of this spigot into this bucket and then drain into this water bin. It's nothing but sand. The windmill is broken and the cow is sitting there looking for some water and there's nothing. So this broken windmill is a pretty clear example of what was happening in this landscape at the time. What is the relationship between the cow and the buzzard? What do y'all think is happening here? I don't think it's great for the cow, quite honestly. So when this happened in the United States, people picked up and moved someplace else because they couldn't grow any crops, couldn't grow any animals, and they had to go someplace so they could earn a living, and people lost their farms. And it was a really difficult time in United States history, and that's why these paintings depicting it are so important. But I want to look at the actual way the painting is composed. Look at the color. Look at these colors. This beautiful blue-green, and then we come down to the yellow and the red and the orange and the golden sand and this deep blues here. That's really a beautiful picture. Okay, if you have some time after class today or just on your own when you want something to do, why don't you think about imagine nature at its most extreme and you're in the middle of it, like in the middle of a tornado. Or maybe write a little poem or a short story about being caught in some crazy nature thing. Or what if you have also lived through something, maybe a hurricane, a big hailstorm, some serious thunder and lightning storms that we get around here? Or you could just draw a picture about nature being awesome too, and have a big rainbow and a smiley sun and all the flowers and the great things about nature. All right, so we are done with Art Sparks today. Thank you so much for having me. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope you have something interesting to talk about. And I appreciate being here today. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.